About to get serious now. All right, what's up, everybody? So today we are talking about your credit and your ability to get approved for a new line of credit, whether that is credit cards, mortgage, auto loan, any line of credit. We're going to talk about some key factors to making sure that you are approved so that you can improve your standard of living, okay? Let me know who's up in here with me. I don't want to talk to myself. I want to make sure that I'm speaking to someone because this information is going to be very helpful. So your credit score is very important when determining your ability to get approved for a line of credit. It determines your credit worthiness, okay? And we always talk about influencing the 5 components of your credit score to make sure that your credit score is improving. And throughout our service, we help you remove some of the derogatory information off your credit report so that it improves your odds of being approved. And your credit score goes like this, okay? And of course, if you're doing the opposite of the recommendations that we make for you, then you're going to see your credit score go like this, okay? But outside of your credit score, there are other factors when determining your credit worthiness. And the creditor is basically trying to determine whether or not you can pay them back for this credit that they're offering you. Because all credit is instead of you paying cash for something, you're utilizing your credit worthiness to pay back, the ability to pay back over time, okay? So you want to buy a house, you don't have $100,000, so you utilize your credit worthiness to let them know that, hey, I don't have the money right now, but over time I can pay you back, okay? And usually people get a 30-year mortgage. Now the thing is, you have a credit score, but it's more important than just having a credit score. You also need to have an income, and you need to make sure that you're not over leveraged, all right? There are many times where people are looking to get approved for something and they get denied, and it's due to the fact that either you're not making enough money or you have too many debts. And what I mean is, let's say that you want to buy a Lamborghini. Well, do you have Lamborghini money to pay that off in 5 years? Okay, let's put this in perspective. If you don't have Lamborghini money to pay it off in 5 years, though you have a 700 credit score, you're not going to get approved for this because you can't pay us back. All right. Another example. Let's say you want to buy a $300,000 house. You may have a 750 credit score, but do you have $300,000 house money to pay us back in 30 years? Okay, so your income plays a huge role when determining your ability to pay back a loan. Also, the amount of debt you have as well. If you are someone where you have a high debt to income ratio, and I want to tell you what's high in a minute. If you have a high debt to income ratio, meaning that you have a large amount of debt compared to the income that you're bringing home, you're less likely to get approved for that because you seem over leveraged. You seem as if an emergency were to arise, how are you going to pay for all these debts that you're obligated to paying? Okay, and at the end of the day, if I have a $300,000 house that you may have the income to pay, but you have too many debts that you're paying on right now, I still won't feel comfortable giving you that loan, because if something were to arise in life, which as us adults have learned, is things do come up, are you going to be able to pay back this $300,000 loan? Okay, so let's talk about your debt to income ratio. This is your monthly obligation on paying back credits, the line of credits that you have acquired over the years. Your monthly obligation compared to your monthly income. Okay, this is the income that you bring home from your job, from your business, a side hustle. They're going to count it as long as you can prove that you're actually bringing it home consistently. Okay, so they're going to use pay stubs, bank statements, all that good stuff to determine your income. Okay, and then your monthly obligation, they're going to look at your credit report, because creditors report on credit reports. They're going to look at your credit reports, and then they're going to look at that monthly payment, okay? So if you're someone, find the calculator really quick, where you have some student loans, I'm going to have to write this down. Say you have student loans. Give me one quick second. You have student loans. Let's say you have 2 student loans, and both of them equal $150 in monthly payments. Let's say that you have 4 credit cards, and all of those are $25 minimum payments. Okay, and then let's also say that you have a car note for $350. And then let's say that you also have a line of credit where you're paying $150. Well, let's say $200 on that one. Okay. Now let me add this up really quick. We have 300. Okay, that makes your monthly obligation $950 for debt payments, okay? And then they're also going to look at what you're paying for rent right now. So let's say your rent payment is $1,000. Right now, your monthly obligation is $1,950. However, you bring home $3,000 monthly. That will make your debt to income, we do $1,950. Okay, $1,950. I don't know if you can see this right, but divided by 3,000, your debt to income ratio is 65%. That's over a half of your income is going towards your monthly obligations. If that's you, you're going to get denied. Why, Jay? You know, I have free money. I have, $1,050 left over. Why are they going to deny me? Because they know that you have living expenses. They know that you have to pay utilities. They know that you have to pay for gasoline. They know that you have to pay for groceries. So you're going to be living a very tight life if you acquire any more obligations. All right? So the thing that you want to do is you want to work on lowering your debt to income ratio. I usually say 35%, but lately I've been hearing 40% from quite a few banks, okay? So let's go with 40%. That's the number right now. If this person wants to improve their debt to income ratio under 40%, that means they need to get their debt. So how do we calculate that? So we go 3,000, their income, 3,000, and then we times that by 0.4. Okay, that'll get us 1,200. That means their monthly obligation cannot exceed 1,200 at this income. Okay, so right now they have a monthly obligation of $1,950. 1,000 of that is for rent. That means that they need to pay off $750 worth of debt. All right. So maybe this is your situation. You have a high debt to income ratio. You have a high rent payment, and you need to get rid of $750 worth of monthly obligation. Now, excuse my notepad right now because it seems a little ghetto, but this is what I had. All right. So excuse me, but this is where we're at. We have the 2 student loans. Let me put the phone down. You have the 2 student loans for $150 a piece. We have the 4 credit cards at a minimum monthly payment of $25 a piece. Then we have the car note for $350. And then lastly, we have the line of credit for $200. Again, total, that's $1,950. All right. We need to get it down to our number that we're aiming for 1,200 because that's going to get us a debt to income ratio of at least, well, a maximum 40% of our income. So the question is, what debts do I focus on getting rid of, Jason? Let me know what you think. What debts do you think this particular person should focus on getting rid of first? Which debts are the priority in your opinion? The student loans, the credit cards, the car note, or the line of credit? Let me get some answers really quick. And if you don't know, I'm going to educate you. What's up, Angelica? How you doing? Which debts should this client focus on getting rid of first to lower their debt to income ratio? The student loans at $150 a piece, the 4 credit cards at $25 a piece, the car note at $350 a piece, or the line of credit at $200 a piece. Now, I know my handwriting is, chicken scratch, which is why I shared those out loud. So I better not see any comments talking about my handwriting. Or I'm coming to your crib and we may have to box. I heard it all my life. I'm tired of it. All right, so Angelica says the credit cards. Daryl says the lowest balance. And then Michelle also assumes the credit cards. Okay, so let's another thing that we need to put in perspective is the amount of balances on the credit cards. Okay, let's say each of the credit cards, are $500 balances. All right. So in order for you to get rid of credit card payments from showing up on your credit report, of course, if you close the account, after you pay it off, it would no longer show as a monthly obligation. However, through our education, throughout our credit repair program, you don't want to close your accounts. You don't want to close your credit card accounts. Okay, so we want to keep those open. However, in order for you to get rid of those balances, you need to pay down the balance down to zero. So that means all your effort needs to go down to zero. However, let's say that, we focused on the first credit card at $25 monthly payment, and we tried to get rid of that credit card. That means, and let's say we were paying $100 towards it every month. It'll take us 5 months to get rid of that. So basically, we took 5 months to get rid of this one $25 payment. Is that worth it? By getting rid of that one credit card, that's only going to reduce our monthly obligation down to $19.25. Okay? So, you should not focus on your credit cards first, because focusing on your credit cards first in regards to your debt to income ratio, you're not going to see the big drop with your monthly obligation. What you need to focus on are the larger debts. So the student loan, for example, if we were to knock off one of these student loans, that will get rid of the $150 payment that's showing up on our monthly obligation, and then that's going to drop us down to $18.50. Okay, so you want to get rid of the bigger obligations, because once you get rid of them, they're going to have a greater impact on lowering your debt to income ratio. Does that make sense? Can I get a yes? If you're religious, you can say amen. I just need, let me get someone to say, I understand that. Okay? So we're talking about lowering our debt to income ratio. And in this scenario, the client is bringing home $3,000 monthly. That's their income. However, their debt monthly obligation is $19.50. Okay? $19.50 compared to $3,000, that gives them a debt to income ratio or percentage of 65%. Banks want to see under 40%. That means this client needs to get rid of 25% of her monthly obligation. The question is, which account should she focus on first that will help her see that decrease sooner, okay? And a lot of the responses are credit cards. However, getting rid of one credit card will only reduce her monthly obligation by $25. In my opinion, you want to focus on the larger debts, because focusing on student loan or car note, for example, if you were to get rid of that car note of $350 monthly, you're going to see your debt to income ratio go like this. It's going to decrease dramatically. Let me share the number with you. So instead of it being $1,950, it'll be $1,600. $1,600 compared to $3,000 gives this client a debt to income ratio of 53%. So, 62% compared to 53%, the 53% looks a lot better, okay? So, what I want to share with you all right now is how can you make that a reality a lot sooner, all right? One scenario, before I even get there, it's important for you to look at the two, I guess you can say, the two areas that make up your debt to income ratio. We have debt, and then we have income, okay? So we either lower our debt or we enhance our income, all right? So there are times where you may be in a situation where you don't have $350 to pay off your car note a lot quicker, okay? And if you don't, of course, it's going to take you a lot longer to lower your debt to income ratio. And like everybody, we want to accomplish everything yesterday. So one way for you to lower your debt to income ratio is to increase your income. Be a dough chaser. You see? Be a dough chaser. Dough chasers are all about improving their situation and taking advantage of opportunities that are going to, one, increase their income, and then two, put them in positions where it's going to enhance their standard of living. And a dough chaser is about getting that dough, for example. So, Jason, I bring home $3,000 a month. My debt to income percentage is 65%. What would you recommend for me to do to lower that? Either pay down your debt tremendously or increase your income. Let's say that this person was able to bring home an extra $500 monthly. What would her or his debt to income ratio look like? 1950 divided by 3,500. It would drop 10% to 55%. So at first it was 65%. With an extra $500 monthly, they were able to drop that debt to income ratio 10%. Okay, and just hear me out really quick. $500 is not that much. Okay, but it can go a long way. Let's say they dropped that their debt to income ratio by 10%, and instead of deciding to use that money to improve their standard of living right away, meaning that they use that money to spend on things and all that crazy stuff, they put that money towards eliminating debt. And not just any debt, but debt that influence their debt to income ratio. So we're looking at this situation, and I know my notes are ghetto, so don't make fun of me. We're looking at this situation, and they bring home an extra $500. Over a year, that's $6,000. So let's say that they only owed $5,000 on the car note. If they applied that extra $500 to their car note, they can get rid of that car note in a year and reduce their debt, the debt down to $1,600, and divide that by 3,500 because they earn extra $500 a month. Their debt to income is now 45%. Okay, 45%. And a year ago, it was 65%. So within a year's time, they have reduced their debt to income by 20% by applying that extra income towards eliminating debts. Now, in order for you to do this, you have to be the kind of person where you have to shift your mentality. Instead of having the consumer's mentality, we need to have the creator's mentality, meaning that we need to create opportunities for ourselves instead of being someone where we're always being taken advantage of. Okay, so consumers get taken advantage of, creators create new opportunities. Okay, so think about your life. Think about opportunities that you are shutting down because you feel that you don't need them. But if you could earn an extra $500 a month, what kind of, creation will that bring into your life? Okay. So here are a couple suggestions. Everyone gets paycheck. They get, taxes taken out of that paycheck. Now, a way for you to get more money in your paycheck is to enhance or improve. No, I'm using the wrong words. Is to increase your tax allowances. I've learned that if our clients were to increase their tax allowances by 3, that could potentially create an extra $100, per paycheck within your life. So that's basically extra $200 that you created by just increasing your tax allowances. Okay. Now understand, I am not a CPA. Okay, and some of you should not take this advice because you may put yourself in a deeper hole. But if you are someone where you receive a $5,000 to $10,000 tax refund, you need to increase your tax allowances, because basically what you're doing is you're giving the government a interest-free, loan, meaning that they're taking your money out of your paycheck, and instead of you charging them interest like they would you via, for example, student loans, they're getting that money for free, and then at the end of the year, they just say, hey, here's your money back, and they give it back to you. So instead of you doing that, you increase your tax allowances so that you can get more of your paycheck, and at the end of the year, you won't owe them anything, and they won't owe you, but you got more paycheck during each pay period by doing that, okay? And I found that helps people bring home an extra, $100 to $200 a month, okay? So if you do that, that means you only have $300 more that you need to make. That means that you need to either work overtime or find a part-time job for a year so that you can accomplish your goals. And if you do that, you're going to see, of course, more income with your paycheck so that you can lower your debt-to-income ratio. And then 2, you're going to be able to accomplish your goals a lot quicker, okay? So again, I am not a CPA. If you are someone where you owe the government yearly, do not take advantage of increasing your tax allowances because it's only going to get worse for you. But if you are someone where you receive, $5,000 to $10,000 a year and a tax refund, you definitely need to think about increasing your tax allowances so you can get more of your pay and be able to do more with each pay period. Okay. Let me see if we have any responses. All right. Would you like another example? I lost my video. Give me one quick second. I apologize. Where is it? There we go. All right. Let me see here. So what would be extremely high? Michelle, I understand, but I feel like I need a loan just to pay off that loan. So sometimes that's a good strategy to implement, taking out a loan to pay off another loan. This is what I call credit optimization. Basically, you have a high interest loan, and what you do is you refinance it with the low interest loan. So basically, with this low interest loan, you pay off the high interest loan, which is going to lower your monthly payment and allow you to pay off that debt a lot quicker because they're not charging you so much interest. Okay. Now, in order to do that, your credit score needs to improve. So depending on where you are with the system, that may be something that you can implement down the road. However, it's always a good idea to take advantage of low interest loans when your credit score is decent. All right. And this is also with refinancing your car. If you have a new, not a new car, but you have a new loan and you're within the first 2 years of that loan, that means you're still paying a lot towards your interest on the car. And if you refinance, you can save a lot of money on interest payments, which will also lower your monthly payment, which will allow you to, of course, lower your debt to income ratio, but it will free up more money within your pay periods or within your budget that you can apply towards paying off other debts or that debt a lot quicker as well. So there's a lot of different strategies that you can implement to lower your debt to income ratio. And I'm actually writing a book and creating a new website where we're going to teach you these strategies. It's called Credit Builder Secrets, okay? And as a client of the 700 Club, you're going to get that information absolutely free. A lot of the strategies I have already shared with some of you, but there's a lot more that I need to, unleash and let you, go out and put into action. And I'm, in the middle of writing that information out, so please bear with me. But by the new year, that information will be available, and it's going to change your life because it's going to allow you to improve your credit scores more dramatically, and also it's going to allow you to lower some of your debt payments so that you can use that money to become debt free as well. Okay, so be patient with me on that process. Wait, are y'all hiring? I need a third job. That was funny. That's funny. We are actually hiring. I'm trying to rebuild credit. If you pay your card off early, will it hurt? So paying off debts will not hurt your credit score. Okay. The only thing that will happen is it will no longer add positive payment history to your credit report. That account would just stop and close. So it won't hurt your credit score. Now, if this is a credit card, paying it off won't hurt your credit score. But if you decide to close it, is when it's going to hurt you, because it's going to impact two components greatly. Payment history. It will stop adding payment history to your credit report. So, of course, it won't hurt you, but it won't help you either. But credit utilization is where it's going to hurt you, because if you have $1,000 worth of credit limits and 500 of that is one credit card and you close that, that's going to reduce your limits down to 500. That means you have less room to work with. And if you already have a credit card that's maxed out at 500, you have two credit cards, one you pay off, one is maxed out at 500. That means your credit utilization that used to be at 50% will now increase to 100% because you got rid of that limit that increased your utilization. More math for you, but that will actually hurt you. But paying off debts will not hurt your credit score, but at the end of the day, it won't help it either. So where you are once you pay it off is where you will remain until you are doing something actively to continue to rebuild your credit score. Okay, I was charging this thing up. All right, so if my iPad turns off on me, I'm sorry. Okay. Priscilla, it depends on your tax bracket. Many of times, by improving your, increasing your income by, $6,000, that won't do too much with your taxes. Now again, it's a game that needs to be played. So there are advantages and there are disadvantages. And again, I'm not a CPA, so you want to make sure that if you do implement this idea, that it's to your advantage. But never be afraid to increase your income because of taxes, because at the end of the day, yes, they may take 25-30% of your income, but that means you have 75% of your income still available to you. Okay, that's 75% more than what you would have never had if you had not improved increase your income. Okay, so never be scared to increase your income because of taxes. All right, because when we put in perspective, if I make an extra $1,000 and they take 25%, that means I still have $750 extra that I would not have had I not increased my income. Okay, so never be scared of that. All right, so hopefully this information has been helpful. Give your boy a like or a love. Let me know that you're feeling this information. And if you know someone who could use the information that we share, feel free to add them to this group so that they can get the information and eventually acquire our services if needed. Hey, I'm just saying. But I do appreciate you all taking the time out with me this evening. Just wanted to hit your news feed and share some information that could potentially help you. Got one more question before I end this. I want to pay my truck payment off to help income, but it's one of those things. Put my credit. I don't know which way to go. All right, so Ralph, we need to put this in perspective. Which one is more important? Improving your debt to income ratio or improving your credit score? All right, whichever is the more important thing for you, you should focus on right now. But if you're someone who is looking to make a move immediately, you know, decreasing your debt to income ratio is very important. However, if you have some time, you know, extend that as long as possible so that it can continue to help you. But if you don't need it, or if that's not your main priority right now, your main priority, then focus on what really matters to you. Okay. Just want to give you that advice. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Again, my name is Jason White. I'm going to try to come, be here again Friday live with you and share some more information and have a Q&A with you. I try to do that once a week. I know last week I played you all. I apologize. But I want to make it up to you. So if you have any further questions, feel free to give us a call. We close at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 419-824-0004. I appreciate you all. Thank you for your time. I'm out. Peace.